Light-hearted.
Offbeat.
Stories
That are not necessarily the news.
Well, we're talking about geysers today. Those are like hot springs that kind of poof up, like a waterfall.
Yeah.
In geography class.
Cool, yeah.
Well, they're quite a rare phenomenon on Earth, and apart from the famous Yellowstone National Park, the United States also once had two more significant ones in Nevada, but they were destroyed by geothermal electricity companies in the 1960s and the 80s. So,
I love that.
yes, quite rare.
I
I've
think
never
I-
seen one,
I
but
think I have Yellowstone on my bucket list too as well.
what?
Yellowstone, the national park.
Oh.
Go see it. What?
Okay. It's like, you going mining? What are you doing?
What?
You're not supposed to take the rocks, Crispin. You're supposed to leave them in the park. Alright, before proposing to Melinda, Bill Gates presented her with a whiteboard listing out the pros and cons of getting married. Did you know that?
Really?
I mean, that's one
Serious
way to
man, boy.
that's one way to do it. I guess you just put everything on the table and whatever happens,
On the board, on the
happens.
board.
Oh, sorry. Yes, on the board. Adolfo Kaminsky is an 18-year-old French forger who faked IDs for Jews during World War II. He once worked actually for 3 days straight to make papers for 300 children until he actually passed out. And his work was actually kept a secret. His own daughter didn't even know about it until she learned details whilst writing a book about him.
Wow.
Yeah. So
You
that's
can
amazing.
imagine finding out something about your family or whatever the case is.
That like changes everything, you know, like
Yeah.
all of a sudden your feelings are flipped right around.
Mm-hmm.
Now, talking about bees, I am not terrified, but I am not a fan of bees. I know they do good work, but do it far from me, you know what I mean? Well, Africanized honeybees, or killer bees as they are also named, were a crossbreed between African and European bees to produce bees that were less aggressive and produce more honey. Yeah, that sounds pretty good to me, except that they were inadvertently made into a species that actually created less honey and were more aggressive,
Oh, no.
and actually even killed a horse. So if
See?
you can bring down something that big, I mean,
When you have a swarm of bees on the attack, there's no coming back from that, boy.
I went
But hey, are you supposed to stay still and just,
you're not supposed to freak out, but I mean, if you stay still, they might still sting you anyway.
No, but I think it's even worse when you start to
Well,
do
yeah.
this and you fan and you
Yes.
run and
Think
it
you're
don't make
being
sense.
attacked.
But it's also hard at the same time
How do
to
you
just
stay still? That's not natural. Yeah, no, can't do that. I went outside today. I was going to do some laundry, and I stepped out the door, and I was hearing and I was like, what is that? Like, is the fridge breaking down or something? And I'm just hearing Crispin.
I thought there was a
no.
Okay.
I looked up, right? I looked up, and on the second story, no joke, a swarm of could not have been less than 200 bees right above my head, and they were just swarming around this particular area. They were all stayed in a quite compact. So I calmly stepped back inside, locked the door, shut the windows, and luckily they did leave the area in about 2 days, because I called every bee man in Barbados and was like, you need to come and remove this. I thought it was a hive, but they said that I think sometimes I don't know if it's a rainy season, don't quote me, but they say that they basically keep moving. They're trying to find a new home.
Okay.
So they usually go by themselves. So they were right, and I was glad, because the bee removal fee was near $400, and I was like, who is paying $400 to move these bees that they didn't invite?
After 3 days and you can't come outside, you would pay, you know?
Well, yeah. Well, let's just say I was wearing all my clothes that were old, because I was not doing any laundry. I was going deep in my closet looking for more things to wear, because I was not going outside unless it was safe. And last but not least, the earliest known example of a telephone technology in the Western Hemisphere was created in 1200 to 1400 years ago by the Chimu people of Peru. It was comprised of two gourds connected to a 75-foot cotton twine cord, similar to the soup can phones that kids kind of make fun with today. And it's also in the Smithsonian if you want to see it. You remember that? You ever tried making the phone?
Man, yeah.
Yeah, the string and the
That
can
was such
or
a
the
big
cap.
deal, and when you're a kid, right?
Hello. Yeah, but these are some things that are not
Necessarily the news.